Welcome back to Hampstead. I'm back in Hampstead again. Helsingborg, Sweden for the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships. We're here for the 84s. We'll have the 84 plus this afternoon as well. But this one here, there is going to be a battle, particularly in the top two. That gold and silver is going to come right down to it, and it's going to be between USA and USA.
Even more, add a little element. Both of these ladies have the same coach who prepped them for this, Joey Flex, and is going to be handling them both. Going to be a little interesting when it comes down to the last dead.
He's going to have a hard time trying to outwit himself with those the
do it every
tactics
day.
in the last
I do it every day.
Oh, well. Yeah, it's going to. I mean, it is, and it is tough. You've got two athletes. You want to do the best for both of them. It's a tough ask.
Well, he said to me backstage, he hates to have to do it to one of his own lifters, but if it comes down to the final pull, and he knows he could extend them beyond their means, and it's in the best interest of the next person up, he'll load that bar accordingly. It is a very tough field. Daniela Miller, returning world champion. When she won in 2017, I had said on the broadcast, she's going to be champion. It's going to be a dynasty because she came out of nowhere as a junior winning. And then, what do you know, Amanda Lawrence replicating that heat, coming in for some people as a favorite, despite being the first world championships. However, you get the first world championship jitters, never seen this kind of judging. There's a lot of factors that are going to go into this.
And of course, Ilya Strick in there from the Netherlands as well, always in the mix.
Always.
You know, she's going to come out. She's got experience. She's going to come out. She's going to do a job and just wait for these two to push each other over the edge and go, you know what? There's my opportunity.
How often do we see two young lions push themselves, sometimes over the limit, miss lifts, and the veteran capitalizes?
Yeah, and the opportunity could be here today. Well, we're just about to get underway. Ria Nakamura from Japan with 80 kilograms. Now, Lawrence put in a 233 opener on a squat.
Monstrous.
I thought it was just a bit of a placeholder, and she'd change it before the start, but it's still there on 233.
Dicey proposition. And I'll tell you why right after this squat.
And she's getting a replacement call there. Just not locking the knees. So knees have to be in that straight lock position before they get to start the squat command.
No question on
on that one.
So the reason why when you open with a world record attempt, when you're watching a squat, you're in and out quickly. And if you're unsure, you're not going to take it from the lifter if you're not sure. But if it's a world record attempt, it's an opener, but you were scrutinizing that.
Absolutely. It's,
a lot of heat on yourself.
And, of course, Mello opening on 215.5 as well.
Also
the world
a world
record as well.
which is, I mean, it's going to be like this the whole way through. History's going to be made the whole way through, neck and neck. You just hope somebody doesn't overreach because the gym is not the platform, different time zone, travel, weight cut. Don't gamble on your openers, but we will see.
Hiro Goto from Japan, 92.5. And, of course, Tokyo, Japan just hosted the World Bench Press.
And they are technicians in the bench, mastered the setup.
Yeah, had plenty of success there. And plenty of success now with 3 white lights. Gazata Kott from Switzerland. Looking for 125. So, of course, this is a big group, the 84s, so we'll actually have 2 flights run straight after each other.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most lifters I've seen in the 84 kilo class myself since commentating at the Worlds. And the talent pool swelling.
Yeah, the talent pool's getting bigger, and there's plenty of strong women.
And one of the cases when the talent pool swells like this, to get to the top of that talent pool is harder and harder.
Well, she gets to 125 on. Probably wasn't the cleanest squat. Have a look at the replay. See she really pops those hips up and pushes forward. Hips come up, just jams her forward, but she managed to recover that one quite well. Alina from Finland, 145.
Oh,
Oh,
little
that was
stutter.
a tough opener right there.
Now, I don't know if she's just off balance. Hopefully it wasn't actually the weight itself, but there was a stutter.
Yeah, it looked a little tough for an opener. Yeah, a bit of a stagger there. I mean, when you look at the replay from the different angle there, it doesn't look like she was ever in doubt.
And that's why you want an opening weight you can handle, even if you did get jockeyed around a position, unforeseen. It's light enough you can pull yourself back and still complete the lift.
And Carlson from Denmark, 147 and a half. Personal best of 160, so this should be fairly reasonable.
Denmark, also not a big trip. Travel, time zone, all friendly. Less variables to worry about. And the two Americans we had spoken about, they got to cross the Atlantic. There's time zone changes, multiple time zone changes sometimes.
And that one goes on the board.
One thing that is going to help Daniela Miller in this showdown, this time she's not cutting. She's eating into the meat, which is a variable she doesn't have to worry about. Amanda Lawrence, if she's cutting while traveling, can be very difficult.
Louise Jenna from Ireland now, 155.
7.5 kilo below her personal best. So it should be relatively comfortable.
Depth looks good. Smooth all the way through. Gets a few nerves out of the way now.
So far, everybody looked like they have got the appropriate weight selected.
Jessica Litera from Switzerland, looking for 155. Right on her personal best.
Can only hope squat training has been going well.
Yeah, 4 years competing, 27 years of age. And she was a little bit nervous at the bottom, but she handled it quite well.
3 red lights. And a lot of times, too, to use a North American reference with a strike zone, just try to establish a strike zone. There's depth. Get the feel of it. Keep hitting it. Stay in there.
Yulia Marinenko from the Ukraine now, 160. He's taking her time getting steady under there. So she handles the weight well. How did she handle the depth? We'll wait and see. Not deep enough. She's going to have to sink that in a little bit.
Take a look at this replay. Yeah, it's pretty much on the line for parallel.
Joanna is from Finland, 165.
That's where a little experience helps. When you miss depth, you know, sometimes if you're new to this, you're a little rattled and you try to sink it too much afterwards. You don't need major corrections. Just a stitch lower and you're okay. Don't change your form any.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to use a weight that is, you know, so achievable any day of the week. That way you can make those little corrections.
Without getting rattled. You also should probably keep the same weight for your second attempt. 9 times out of 10, we would agree with that strategy.
So she's getting a re-rack for her knees. Knees need to be locked and straight. And the side referee not happy with that.
There we go.
Looks better.
Oh, about on the line. See what they say for depth.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell from the front angle, and side
Yeah.
referees have said it's not deep enough.
I had a feeling. And just to recap, the Ukrainians opting to go up 5 kilo despite missing the first attempt on depth.
Yeah, it's always a tough decision.
Hopefully
it's
it's
always a
okay.
risk.
Because you can miss the first one, technical. Wow, I just missed on technicality.
Then all of a
It
sudden
felt
the weight
strong.
gets a little bit heavier, and it becomes more than a technicality. Now.
Yeah, 5 kilo can change whether it's technical or strength for the second one.
Anna Wuzurek from Poland, 172.5.
That looks good.
And referee said it's a good lift.
Stitch untidy, but hits depth.
Well, we always say it doesn't have to be pretty to be good.
This is true.
Karen Leana Zapata Cusino from Colombia. – 180 kilograms.
Moved well.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid for an opener. Gets it on the board. Just one red light there. Ryo Nakamura from Japan, 90 kilograms. So it'll be her second lift now. Her opener moved quite well. Still under a personal best.
Yeah, 10 kilo jump. It's still 10 kilo under the personal best, so you can kind of see the pacing of probably 10 kilo jumps, but it'll depend on how this one moves.
Can you replacement call again? Same thing, knees.
Flex those quads. Straighten those legs.
So referees being very consistent on it, so they should all know. Depth is very, very good. Shouldn't have any problem with depth on that one, I don't think. And that one goes on the board as well. Hiro Goto from Japan, 102.5.
This is going to equal her personal best. .53 years old, lifting in the open.
Competing in the opens. A replacement call again, and still the knees.
She's got time, not oodles of it.
So both Japanese lifters have been pulled up for this on both lifts now.
There we go. It's on the line for depth.
And it's going to be close. Yeah, it's not deep enough. And, you know, a part of that is because of her narrow stance. There's not a lot of room for her hips to drop through. And you can see she really folds over because of that. And makes that lift even harder. Melgazata Kott from Switzerland, 135. those hips popping up, making it really hard for her to stand up.
It's a little bit of work. It is a 10-kilo jump. She handles it,
It's on
though.
the board. She's really going to have to lift that chest up.
If she wants, now previously she has another 10-kilo in her. If she wants to do another 10-kilo jump, she might want to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah,
The
she's going
elbow
to have to
shot
fix
back.
that technique a little bit. She's going to lift that chest up a lot higher, sit back into it. Alina Kivajavi from Finland, 152.5.
Equaling her previous personal best, 7.5-kilo jump.
Certainly looking like a better success rate so far than the previous session.
Yeah, it was the thing when it's a competitive class. Sometimes you all push each other, and sometimes right over the limit.
And gets that one on the board with 3 white lights.
These are all obviously competitive classes, but the 93-kilo men's is probably the most competitive of the men's division we've seen thus far.
Yeah, it was certainly a lot of push and shove all the way through. And Carlson from Denmark, 157.5. So just shy of a personal best.
Bar looks a little uneven on her back.
Yeah, she looked comfortable in a walkout though. Didn't seem to bother her. And gets it back to the top. There's only a couple more kilos in it.
3 whites. You know, it's funny you say a couple more kilos. 2.5 more kilos is her previous personal best. We'll see what kind of jump she wants to make for her third.
Louise Jenna from Ireland, 160.
5-kilo jump. 2.5 kilo below her personal best.
She put a 157.5 in last year at the European Classic. Competed in Minsk in 2017 as well.
Depth looks good.
Yeah, that looks like a solid squat.
Bar path never swayed. Kept the chest up, tight back.
Makes the difference.
Certainly does.
Jessica Vitara from Switzerland now. 162.5. This is a big personal best.
Yeah, we're in uncharted territory for Jessica. Just means she's going to have to elevate her game a stitch.
Oh, she's had to put in some work there. But you know what? For a personal best of that size, that's a fairly low ratio of work.
Yeah, I'm sure she expected it wasn't going to be easy. She's got a little room though. It was never in doubt, but it was work.
Yulia Marinenko from the Ukraine. Opened at 160, missed it. We've always said this is a risk to put extra on.
You missed the first on a technicality, but when you raise the weight, you're risking missing on strength.
And this is right on her personal best as well.
I always like retaking the weight, changing the technicality, and you're good. You can't get stronger in 5 minutes. You can get technically more proficient if you tighten up a little.
Let's hope the risk pays off.
It's on the line
It's
again.
still on the line, and that was a lot tougher.
Yeah.
And it's 3 reds again.
So sinking 160 would be there. Sinking, and it's harder once you sink it. You hope it's in the tank for her. a contrast. This young lady decided, let's keep the weight the same, her coaching staff as well, and I like that strategy.
Yeah, I think it's always a smart move. I mean, you look at the 165 then from Yulia. I mean, it was a little bit tough. Now she's got to do it again.
Yeah, and deeper.
So she's a little bit more fatigued, and she's got to get deeper on it.
High was tough. Deeper's going to be even tougher.
That looks a little better.
It's close. We'll see what they say.
And she gets it on the board.
Yeah. 1,775.
Anna Wozarek from Poland.
5 kilo jump.
That's a big personal best as well.
A doctor. It must be tough fitting in the training with that kind of schedule.
I can relate to that.
Open with a personal best, looking to exceed that. A training 1 year, so the gains are pretty fast your first year.
Gets in deep. Oh, that was tough through the middle.
Smiles it off. Yeah, she gets in deep. The issue will be when she bombs it in, if you lose a little tension, there's a wobble. There's the front judge thought maybe a little down up, and when you lose your tension and you start wobbling around a little, it's okay to move quickly, but you got to stay tight.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem when you drop really fast like that, you get into the hole, and yeah, you get a good bounce, but it does tend to sacrifice a little bit of tension. I'm a big fan of that controlled descent, and then about a centimeter or so out, then drop into the hole. And Karen from Colombia gets that one on the board with 195.
15 kilo jump, and it's moving quickly. Looks like she's got a lot more in the tank if she wants to push it.
So Ryo Nakamura now from Japan, 95. She's been pulled up twice for those knees to get the squat command. Let's hope she's paid attention and fixed that.
It's hard to flex your quad without having a straight leg. It's a simple enough cue, I know, but sometimes just walk out there, show off your quads. Her grip is different on both sides of there. Might be on purpose due to shoulder mobility, but
Yeah, see occasionally some. You see the odd one or two in our careers in bench as well.
makes it.
Yeah, it's a little untidy. Let's see what the referees say. It's on the board. Hiro Goto from Japan now, 102.5. So again, has to be careful of those knees. She's been pulled up for it a couple of times now. That's better. Sink in.
Whoa.
And she got in deep and then just shifted her forward. Because of the way she squats with that close position, it folds her right over.
Yeah.
And once those hips started going, you could see it pushing her forward. The bar was starting to dip. The spotters gave her a chance to correct, gave her the opportunity, but then safety was first and the bar had already started heading down.
And I think it was a little up-down as well, which is never going to pass.
Nagazata from Switzerland, 140.
5 kilo below her personal best. It's within reach. Switzerland is a relatively friendly travel, and she was underweight, so weight cut also isn't a variable.
Oh, she makes it hard for herself with the way those hips pop up.
But she's good for it, I believe. Nope.
Not deep enough. Have a look on the replay. You can just see her hips drive up so fast.
Yep.
And it drives her forward. Alina from Finland, 160. Just taking her time, making sure she puts that bar exactly where she wants it. And if you step out with that bar on your back and it's in a position where you're like, yeah, it's not quite comfortable, it just throws your entire squat off.
Especially for a personal best, and this is a personal best for her. So sometimes you see a lifter take a little more time when they're entering into the unknown.
So strength was good. And it goes on the board. It's a nice one to take home. So Arne Carlsen from Denmark, 162.5.
Another personal best attempt by 2.5 kilo, 5 kilo jump. Bringing up the intensity a little bit.
Yeah, she's just raised it just a little, hasn't she?
Well, when a personal best is loaded on the bar, you know, I like the pacing of it, though.
Yeah, I mean, she's just gradually increased the intensity. Not too much. She's not over the top.
Exactly, and you need to manage your excitement levels. Got a little bullied by the weight, but she was strong with it.
And she gets it on the board, though. Yeah, tried to push her around a little bit. Nearly knocks the coach over on the way out.
All right, this is all the marbles now.
We're in struggle street now. Julia.
It's matching her personal best. When you have your personal best on your back, sometimes you get conservative, sometimes you get shy. Can't do it anymore.
Well, if there's a coaching team that can bring you out of this, it's the Ukrainian team. And the crowd willing her to get this.
I'm not sure.
It's going to be close.
Look close to the second attempt, though. Yeah.
2 red lights.
If I'm honest, it looked a lot like the second to me as well.
Well, they're going to come to the jury, as I thought they would.
You might as well if you get one white.
But right now, Louise Jenna from Ireland, 165.
Five kilo jump from her second to her third. It'll be a 2.5 kilo personal best.
Not a bad way to finish the round. Definitely good. She's fighting it. But it's just too much. She put in a great fight, though.
She did stay in the pocket. Technique was on point, just a little heavy.
Yeah, she almost pushed through that point there. Just a little bit too much in the end.
Showed poise.
Jessica Litera from Switzerland, 167.5. She's already hit a personal best on a second. This will be a really nice one for her to put on the board.
And by the way, the Ukraine's going to the jury for that last call was denied. And the Ukrainian will not log
There was no
total.
overturn there. And just a little bit too much at the bottom there.
And if we started out with a lot of greens on the scorecard, we're starting to get a lot of
Yeah,
reds.
it's starting to change a bit now. Joanna Ills from Finland, 175.
Miss 165, bounce back and hit it. 10-kilo jump, equaling her personal best.
Yeah, had a bit of a rough start, but corrected, kept the weight the same and got on the board. Any replacement, I'd say it's the knees again. Yes, it is. You can see the referees motioning to the knees. There's plenty of time, though.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of being out there ready to go. And she's putting in the fight. She's going to fight through it. She gets it to the top.
Excellent fight.
That's a good fight. But no luck. So unfortunately, that's a no lift. So Anna Wozarek from Poland, 182.5 is next. Yeah, the coach is just coming to the jury.
5-kilo jump for Anna, and it's a 12.5-kilo personal best from her previous performance before the Worlds.
So just to keep you up to date, Finland has come to the jury on that last lift. The jury having a bit of a good look. They're certainly taking the review seriously.
Depth is good.
Oh, just couldn't quite get past. She had good power coming out. Just couldn't quite get there. Well, Finland had a good chat with the jury, but I haven't seen any movement from them. Karen Diana Zapata Cusino from Colombia. Looking for 210. This is a monster personal best.
15-kilo jump, but she took 15 kilos from her opener, so she's comfortable jumping that much. And her second attempt moved very fast. She just wants to make sure she hits depth. Sometimes when you have a heavy bar on your back you haven't touched before, you get a little shy with that depth.
Well, let's see if she can get this one down there further enough. Depth looks good. Oh, just a little too heavy.
Yeah.
She put in a big effort though and almost pushed it through.
Good fight.
Really good fight there. She was straight into our second flight now.
Ordinarily, I would say, don't expect too much fireworks for an opener. They're never overly interesting. However, we have a world record attempt by Daniela Miller, and that ordinarily would be bold, but compared to Amanda Lawrence's world record attempt, it looks conservative.
She was opening at 233. She's dropped it to 230.5, which isn't really very much.
Yeah, well, I don't know if in the warm-up room, I don't know, knock off 1.5 kilos. That's
yeah. Well, Marina Almeida from Brazil, 160.
It is going to be an interesting opening round of squats, and that interest will only heighten the further we go. That's a nice one.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah. That is bang on the money what you want your opener to be.
Yeah, that was fast. That's what you want. No mucking around with that one. Sylvia Savas from Germany, 162.5. I ran into Sylvia briefly last night. She seemed very calm and collective. Wasn't too stressed at all. And that's why, because she knew that opener was on the books.
Yeah, you shouldn't be worried about the weight you're about to face in your opener. Shouldn't be anything you have to get all amped up to handle. It should be like your last warm-up because disaster comes.
If you've got to get fired up for your opener, I mean,
you're not pacing well.
You certainly want to be serious. You certainly want to be focused. But if you've got to walk out and get really fired up for that opener, yeah, then it's probably too heavy.
There are a few lifters who can do it, but it's few and far between, put it that way. There's very few screamer manuels out there.
Katya Jorgensen from Denmark, 165.
I think they want, is it knees?
I think knees again. Yep, knees. The head referee is motioning to the knees. She still has time.
Yep. And if it happens on your opener, now you know for your second and third when the weight's heavier. Get it out the way. Looks good after that. See if the judges agree.
Yeah, goes on the board. Danita Nuga from Great Britain now, 172.5.
Pretty high bar setup. Don't see that as often. Looks like right at the base of the neck almost.
Yeah, it's interesting, the discussions around high bar and low bar.
Works for her. As long as you can stay upright.
And gets it in deep and gets it on the board.
She looks almost relieved. Sometimes it's the most nerve-wracking squat. Actually, Gustav Hedlund, who just took a silver, said, I can't believe how scared I was before my opener. It's weight I always handle, but the nerves.
Yeah, the nerves can get you. Iris Aeneas from the Netherlands, 172.5. And great three-step walk out there.
And
Depth is good. She's having to fight. Did the bar dip?
quite a bit of fight for your opener.
It didn't. She gets it on the board, and you're right, that's a lot of fight for an opener.
Daniela Miller decided to drop her opener as well. Not going to be a world record attempt.
Yeah, I think that's wise.
I like
it
that.
Just takes the pressure off a little bit.
It does, and just keep it an opener.
You might have hit it a million times in the gym, but when it's a world record, there's extra pressure.
Just leave it in an opener. Nothing to see here. I'm going to hit this and move on. You got 3 attempts. You could cover a lot of ground if you like.
Deirdre Finland from Ireland, 175.
That move pretty smooth.
Yeah, it moved fairly well. 3 light lights, that's on the board. She can relax a bit now. Ilja Strick from the Netherlands, 185. And I hope the US are watching behind them as they battle each other. Because this woman here has a wealth of experience and has been on that podium many, many times.
To be sure. 46 years old, opting to lift in the open. Says no thank you to the Masters division.
And is going to put the screws on Mello and Lawrence.
Nicely done.
Very smooth. That one goes on the board very nicely.
No big questions left for the judges.
Yeah, very convincing. Gets down there, gets the job done.
Yep.
Isabel Nacken from Norway, 185. Bring a little bit of intensity to this for this opening lift.
Again, sometimes it's not because it's overly heavyweight they can't handle, but just the nervousness. It follows you.
Got to get over those nerves.
Yeah, it follows you onto the platform. You can exercise those demons. Put the opener behind you.
And gets it back up there.
Bit of work. Bit of work.
Yeah,
and
2-1. That's a good lift.
Yeah, her hips are a little out of alignment. One is higher than the other, so and that happens. So sometimes you're higher on one side than on the other. As long as you get 2-1, it's actually pretty common with powerlifters.
And Joyce Robotin from the Philippines, 190.
I see the Canadian coaching staff. Yeah, Jeff Butt. So I guess he would be helping out the Philippines, which is nice.
Well, you know what? I mean, that's the greatest thing about powerlifting is everyone is here to support everyone. You know, I've been known to put on a few different shirts.
Yes, you have, sir.
Out the back for different countries.
Canadian coaching staff, obviously Jeff already got one world champion in the bank, a bunch of medals.
Yeah, she was smiling on that one.
Yeah. 3 whites.
Well done. She was happy with that.
If you're going to approach a nation, I know I'm Canadian, a little biased, but the Canadians have already got a couple world records, medal podiums, and a world champion. It's a good staff. They say, can you help me out?
Not a bad place to go for a bit of help. Daniela Miller from the US, 212.5, and initially opening at 215.5.
Yep, dropping it, I think, is a good decision.
I think it's a very, very good decision.
And it'll be interesting how this moves. Bit of an indicator how much room there is to grow.
This is going to tell us just where it's going to go.
No problem on walkout. She looks pretty
Looks confident.
And that's why.
Very, very smooth.
Nicely done.
Now, I know that looked
Nicely
easy,
done.
and everyone's sitting at home thinking, you know, the 215.5 would have been easy, and it probably would be.
Take the stress off.
But
She was
exactly.
no stress
Take that
there.
stress off.
She walking out, how confident did she look?
Exactly.
No stress. No need for it.
Well,
you got time.
Right now, Amanda Lawrence for a world record attempt, 230.5. The previous world record, 213. So she's not just jipping it, she's destroying it.
And this is your first world championships, and your first attempt is a world record. It gets no more baptism by fire.
Yeah, that's a lot of stress. Well, let's hope she can handle it.
She looks confident, and she is a phenomenal squatter, phenomenal athlete, once-in-a-lifetime talent.
Well, a personal best says 240.
She's hit this before.
So 230.5, well under that.
Look
Wow,
fast, look
that
smooth,
moved
look easy.
fast,
That
didn't
looked
it?
like an opener. That looked like an
That
opener.
did not look like a world record attempt.
Biggest squat we've ever seen in 84-kilo history
Wow.
by far, and it looked like an opener.
Absolutely phenomenal. Wow. Sylvia Savas then from Germany, 167.5, will take her second.
Where do we go from here?
The great Dietmar Wolf in her corner. $167.5. dead on her personal best. Depth looks good.
Yeah, for
Gives a
equaling,
bit of a nod at the top there.
for equaling a personal best, that was pretty smooth.
Marina Almeida from Brazil now. Looking for 170.
And in the projected, thus far, early days I know, but Amanda Lawrence and Daniela Miller, 1 kilo apart. It's going to stay tight the whole way through.
Yeah, they're going to push each other all the way. A little bit of work. That's a good second, though.
Yeah, solid second. 10 kilo jump, handled it well, equaled their personal best.
Nuga from Great Britain now, 177 and a half. To give her equal personal best as well. She's getting a little bit more fired up this time. She looks confident. She's fired up. And that looks good from here. Wait and see. It is.
2 for 2.
Yeah, that was a good lift, that one. Moved well. Kept the chest up all the way through. So Katya Jorgensen from Denmark, 177 and a half.
12.5 kilo jump. It's sizable. It's also 7.5 kilo over a previous personal best. So we're taking some leaps in the second round.
Yeah, that was a good one. It was a little bit of work. And still a little bit in the tank.
It slowed in the middle, but it was never in doubt.
Yeah, there was never a moment there where you thought, oh, this is going to be close, but she gets it all the way. Iris Aeneas from the Netherlands, 177 and a half. Looks like we had a special on 177 and a half today.
It's been a lucky attempt number so far. 3 for 3. Iris hoping it's 4 for 4 after this. Depth looks pretty good.
Depth is good. She's fighting all the way through. I mean, that certainly looked tough, but I think it looked a lot tougher than it was. If you look on her face, you look at her body language, I mean, it never looked like she wasn't going to push that through. Deirdre Finland from Ireland now, 185. Only been competing 1 year, so this will be a personal best. Looks good.
Nicely done.
And Amanda Lawrence has put in a massive 243.
Now, she's hit that before.
That's huge.
But it was her personal best, and she's looking to equal it, and then we'll see what kind of a jump she wants after that.
Isabel Nakken from Norway. 190 kilograms.
And the question will be, Does Daniela Miller and Lawrence push each other and we start seeing missed lifts due to how close this race is? 1 kilo apart in the projected.
Wow.
Doesn't get closer. Well, I guess it could be dead even, but it's still very, very tight race.
Oh, what a fight.
Yeah.
Just gets away from him. Boy, what a fight.
It was loaded a little unevenly in terms of stacking onto the one side, and when you do that, it's a risky proposition coming out of the hole.
So, of course, world and international events like Worlds and European, only place you can set a world record. Can't set a world record in a national event. So this is one of those rare occasions where the squat national record in the US is actually higher than the world record.
The U.S. Nationals, to say they're competitive is to say the least. They could probably field 2 teams if they like, but we're fine with just one.
Ilya Strick, 195. It's going to be a nice personal best for her.
Yeah, personal best at 46 years old. 10 kilo jump, but 185 moved very well.
Technique master.
Wow.
And the big smile and the nod.
She's definitely a favorite for a podium finish and will be very hard to knock off that podium.
Yeah, she's going to do her job and just wait to see how far the others push each other. Joyce Revotten from the Philippines now. $197.5 to equal her personal best.
Canadian coach is telling her patience. You hear Jeff Butt's voice.
Depth
right
is
on
solid.
point.
Good all the way through.
Even telling her at the top, hold there, because sometimes you see,
Yeah, sometimes you get a little bit excited.
you get excited and re-rack. We've seen it before in these worlds.
Daniela Miller from the USA now, 225.
So we're starting to get to the upper end, looking at previous squats. 227.5 is her previous personal best. This will give an indication where she's at on the day. Previous competitions, this would not be a second attempt, it'd be a third. So squat training must have been going well.
225, it's a fairly decent jump.
She doesn't lack in confidence, and there's a reason for that. She can back it up. I like how she walks it out.
Yeah, 3 steps. Jeff looks good.
Wow.
Far path is smooth, chest is up, it should be a good lift. Moved very well.
2.5 kilo away from her old personal best. That's long gone. I'm interested in seeing where her new personal best is.
Well, right now though, we've got Amanda Lawrence with another world record attempt, 243. This is going to put the universe back in balance and make sure the world record's higher than the national record now. This is to balance the universe. 243. It's a monster squat on any card.
Whoa. I mean, the way 230.5 moved, you got to think this is in the tank.
She looks confident.
230.5 definitely moved like an opener should. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And that moved like a second attempt should as well.
That was absolutely brilliant, 243.
The biggest squats in history for the 84-kilo class, and they're moving like openers and second attempts with no major fight.
That is huge, absolutely huge.
And not by a little bit of these world records.
So Daniela Miller had a 231 put in for her third, based on if she'd missed the 243, so it was been automatically corrected back to 230 now.
Now, you know what? The way 225 moved for her, 230 might be conservative, but they're playing the tight game because if Amanda overreaches, then you capitalize.
Sylvia Savas from Germany, 172 and a half. Be a really nice personal best to take home.
And if you're interested, Amanda Lawrence going up to 248 for her third. The spread in the projected, still 1 kilo in between Mello and Lawrence. Still neck and neck.
Getting a replacement call. Let's wait and see what for. Knees not locked. She has time. Still another 20 seconds on the clock. Gets the call this time. She's fast at the bottom. And she gets it on the board.
5 kilos added to her total.
Marina Almeida from Brazil now, 175. So we'll give 5 kilos on a personal best. And more importantly, add that extra 5 to a total that you just never know where that could come in handy in this field.
That looks good.
Yeah, that looks like a solid lift.
And the Brazilians are fighters.
Big jump and a fist pump from the coach there. Very excited. Iris Aeneas from the Netherlands now, 180. Just shy of her personal best.
Well, strategy-wise, more important to get kilos on the total on the board than try to hit personal best. And
Exactly right.
yeah, and
She had a good fight in her though, didn't she?
she certainly wasn't willing to let it go without a good fight.
A new guy from Great Britain, 182 and a half. Bringing a little bit more intensity for this one. Big breath in, into the belt. Well, she hung around down the bottom there for a long time.
Almost paused it. Is it depth? It's right on the... Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it wasn't deep enough.
I was questioning myself.
Yeah, you could see she hung around there. She was really tentative. You can see it in the replay. She gets down. She's just really slow down there.
Yeah, it was actually a little above parallel, too.
Katya Jorgensen from Denmark, 185. Big, big personal best. Def looks good from this angle.
Very strong young lady.
Yeah, she's very strong.
Weight pusher 4, but she's so strong she could gut it out.
Litera, Finland from Ireland now, 190. This will be another personal best.
Yeah, we are way into personal best territory at this point.
It's been a bit of a mixed bag on this third round here.
Failure rate is actually. I was gonna say. The
one.
failure rate looks a little high, and I think the squat might too. Yeah.
And listen, a little bit on the high side. She had the strength, just need to sink it a little deeper.
That's when you get into heavy weights you haven't touched before. Sometimes you start cutting depth.
Well, it's a natural response to the body to pull up a little bit short.
Yep. You walk it out, feels heavy. You gotta have the confidence to sink it.
Isabel Naken from Norway, 190.
Half a kilo below her personal best.
Depth look good from here. We'll wait and see though.
Yeah.
And it was.
And I remember she's the lifter where one hip's higher than the other. So on one side, she'll get called for high, and the other side it looks okay.
Joyce Robotin from the Philippines now with 200. Taking a time to get set up. And she's putting in the fight.
You know what?
It almost came to a complete stop.
They took a 2.5 kilo conservative jump. That's conservative for the squats, but I don't think she would have took another 2.5 kilo. That was right on the money.
So it almost came to a complete stop, about halfway up. And then all of a sudden she finds some extra energy. Ilya Strick, 200 kilograms, a big, big personal best. She is an absolute technician. Her last two squats were absolutely dead on perfect.
Definitely gets 100% out of all of her levers with her setup, her form, her technique.
Great lifter, great experience, looking for a personal best of 200 kilograms. I'd love to see her get this one on the board. Look at that, chest up, head up. Look at that technique. Her technique is just flawless. 200 kilograms goes on the board. What a way to finish the squat round. And now we load the 230. Daniela Miller from the USA.
I thought 225 moved really well. I think
230 is a very reasonable expectation. It's not an overstretch. And this is actually the smart card. It'd be very easy to get caught up right now trying to chase down Lawrence's numbers. Yeah. But no, she's playing the smart card. You know what? This is what I'm doing. This is what we're lifting.
It's a 2.5 kilo personal best. Totally reasonable. 225 was a nice, smooth second attempt. 5 kilos should be right on the money for a 3 for 3 and a nice pacing. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was very good.
Maybe it was conservative.
No, I always stand by it. It's really easy after the lift to go, oh, I probably had more. But
Yeah. That's 2020
you can
hindsight.
easily throw an extra 2.5 on and find out the hard way that you didn't have more.
Exactly. And I tell you what, she's got plenty left in the tank for bench and deads, and it's going to be a long day.
World record now, Amanda Lawrence, 248. She's already broken it twice. She wants the hat trick.
And 243 moved like an appropriate second attempt. Again, 5 kilo I don't think's going to break her. She should have this. It's within her means.
Not a bad way to tell the world you're here.
The attempt selection by the American teams look bang on in getting the most out of these two young ladies going toe-to-toe.
And she gets it back to the top.
Move quickly. Yeah,
And unfortunately, she gets 2 red lights on that one.
it was
So she
on the
wants to
line.
take
Let's
the
take a look at this
243.
replay here if we have one.
And let's have a quick look here.
Yeah, it looked a little high.
Yeah, just on the line there. Well,
Plenty of strength.
we told you it was going to be exciting. We said there was going to be action. 3 world record attempts in a row, 2 of them successful. We saw a monster world record from the squat. Ilya Strick putting on a squat clinic for us, getting a personal best. These top 3, Ilya's sitting there. You know, they're a long way out of reach at the moment, but anything can happen, and they are going to push themselves. I got to say, Daniela Miller is playing a really, really smart game. She did not get caught up at all in that world record game there.
And look how it paid off, because Amanda Lawrence put on, the strength was there. First worlds, a little shy on depth. It's a shame, because when she reviews it, she'll tell herself, I was strong, I was good for it all day. This can happen. Your first world championships, new weight on your back. A little conservative.
Well, don't go too far away. 9 minutes, we're going to be right back here with the bench press. Welcome back to Helsingborg, Sweden, and it is just getting underway here. We've had the squat session, world records, 2 in a row, third one missed. Daniela Miller just playing her game, not getting caught up in the moment. What are we expecting in the bench press?
Well, so at the very least, if Amanda Lawrence had to miss a squat, first off, it wasn't on strength. She didn't expend too much of the budget. It was a little high, can be an anticipated first world record on your back. She came up shy. But that's where she wanted to build her biggest base, have a bit of a lead, because in the bench press, Daniela Mello is going to take the lead and more than likely maintain it. Going into the deadlifts, they're dead even. So if you're a Daniela Mello fan, you have to like how the squats played out. However, Amanda Lawrence is making fast gains. We'll have to see where she ends up.
Yeah, look, I mean, Daniela Miller is playing a really good card. She's just sitting there doing her thing. She's going to come out in that bench press. She knows she's good in this. She knows she's good in the bench. And this is where, she's certainly not going to make up huge ground, but they're so close. All she's got to do is get a couple of kilos on her, and all of a sudden the tables start to turn.
Holding to the game plan and staying in the pocket has served her well. When we were watching the squats, I said 5 might be conservative on her third attempt. You thought it was right on the money, and it paid off. 1 hits, 1 misses, total change of fortunes, perhaps. When it's this close, that 1 miss, Amanda Lawrence is going to be looking back saying, I was good for the strength, just cut the depth. But the day isn't over yet, is it, Gary?
Well, it's got a long way to go and a lot of lifts left in the bag. And we're about 10 seconds away from getting the bench press underway with Rio Nakamura from Japan. She's going to open at 50 kilograms. And then we'll get through this first flight, then we'll see the second flight come out and just watch it unfold and see where the plan goes.
Could go anywhere.
So 50 kilos on the bar for Rio Nakamura. And that should be a good lift, and it is. Nice opening lift there. So we load to 55 for Hiro Goto from Japan.
53-year-old lady, an M2 in the open competing.
Looking for a 55, just 5 kilos shy of her personal best. Taking a time there. And gets it on the board. Joanna Ives from Finland, 70 kilogram.
Opening with her previous personal best.
And she has to work hard for it. It is a personal best, though.
Not
and
a
the
lot of room
problem
to grow.
with opening so high is you don't have any room to add.
And now you're guaranteed, if you're going to come out 2 more times, 2 more grinders, just expending energy for 2.5 kilo. Not a good game plan. It'd actually be okay to not come out 2 more times despite having 2 more attempts.
Malgorzata Kott from Switzerland, 72.5. looks like a good opener. That's how you want it to move. So Yulia Maronenko from the Ukraine, and an absolutely gutsy athlete here. It takes a lot of guts to brush yourself off after missing all your squats.
All is not lost. You have 2 more events. You can still turn your day around and go 6 for 6 in them.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of guts to brush yourself off and come out and do that. I mean, it's very easy to say, you know what, my day's over. I'm going to pack up and go home. So to stand up, brush yourself off, get back on that bench. And now's a chance to see what she can do. So she's opening her personal best. And gets it to the top. And puts that one on the board, and that's going to make her day feel a lot better.
Stark contrast than her squat. That was easy on the board, smooth, room to grow.
Karen Diana Zapata Cuseno from Colombia. Would like to have 75 kilos, please. That looks good. So Jessica Vitara now from Switzerland would like 75 kilograms.
Opening at her personal best. Let's hope that personal best is long past her. Good training cycle can do that.
Look, if her squats ready to go by, I mean, she opened a personal best in the squats too and blew past that. So obviously, she had some very good training blocks. And that certainly doesn't look like a personal best anymore.
Nope.
And the coach very happy with that. Anna Wazorek from Poland, 75. And the doctor from Poland.
5 kilo below her personal best. I'm assuming this isn't going to be any kind of major struggle.
Very nicely done. That is how you want your opening lift to look and how you want it to feel. Hanna Alina from Finland, 85. And I think the first squat is always a nerve-wracking one. I think bench is pretty nervous as well because, you know, as we talk about, there's so many technical things that can go wrong.
Yeah, it's the only of the 3 lifts that has 3 commands. It has a lot of different points of contact. You need feet, head on the bench, butt on the bench, shoulders on the bench, lock your arms. There's a pause in the middle, which is the only one of the 3 lifts that has a pause in the middle.
There's just so much to think about, isn't there?
It's broken up into 2 steps because of the pause, breaking it up. So it's a lot. And then to add another element, oh, by the way, this weight can move great. 2.5 kilo and the brakes come on. That's the way the bench moves.
Yeah, I think it's just it's another reason to make sure you're really looking conservatively on your opening lift. So Arne Carlsen from Denmark, 85 kilograms.
And I believe her coach, handler right there in the view, had competed. It might have been even as soon as yesterday. All hands on deck here.
Yeah, so many of the people here coaching, lifting, refereeing, you know, they all, you know, they're lifters, they're coaches, they're referees, they're doing everything when they come here.
Everybody chips in. Well, look at Kimberly Walford, just won the World Championships. Hops in the hot seat
And
as a
here
ref.
she is refereeing.
Giving back to the sport.
Louise Jenna from Ireland. And Big J Frant just letting the head referee know that she has a hearing impairment.
Ah.
So the chief referee will actually stand up out of her chair. And depending on the hearing impairment, may give hand signals over her face as well. So she moved closer and louder to ensure that she could hear properly.
Relay lights.
Happy with that. Rio Nakamura from Japan, 55 kilograms. Just under her personal best of 57.5. And she's having to work hard on that right-hand side, but I think she gets it there. And she does with 3 white lights. So Hiro Goto now from Japan, 57.5. So she's got a personal best of 60 kilograms. Be nice to get this one on the board. So there's an interesting technique when she brings the bar down. You'll see a slight pause in it. And it's a technique I've seen before in Tokyo with a couple of other Japanese lifters. To look more into that and see just what they're doing there. Joanna Ilves from Finland, 72.5. Had a good opening lift. This will be a nice little personal best. Works for the Finnish police force. And just a little bit too tough on that one. We might be able to catch the replay and just see if it was a technique issue or just too heavy. Yeah, I mean, her technique looked quite good. Just needs to probably get a little bit more power off the chest there. Get those elbows into position. Karen Diana Zapata Roseno from Colombia, looking for 77.5. Still shy of a personal best of 85. And that was a very, very smooth second lift. Margazata Kot from Switzerland. So this will be a 5 kilo personal best for a second attempt. Her opener moved very well. And that 5 kilo jump, just a little bit too much. The big jump to be taken. Yulia Marinenko from the Ukraine now looking for 80 kilograms. So opened at 75, so taking that 5 kilo jump as well. And it'll be a big personal best. Oh, she's having to work hard. Just not quite there. I think she can get through that one with a couple of technique adjustments. Yeah, she was really driving up with those legs instead of back. Jessica Vitara from Switzerland now, looking for 80. And that is a great personal best right there. Just added 5 kilos to a personal best. Coach is super happy with that. Anna Wazorek from Poland, 80 kilograms. Nice touch. And just a little bit too much there. She'll make a few little adjustments. Maybe be able to grind that one out on her third. Alina from Finland, 87.5. Put a couple of kilos on her personal best. And it looks like a good lift. She had to do a bit of work there, but it is a second, and it is a personal best. Arne Carlsen from Denmark now looking for 90. We're looking for 90 kilograms. Right on a personal best, opened at 85. And that should be a good lift. is. Louise Jenna from Ireland wants 95 to equal her personal best. Plenty of support in the crowd. You have to love having the Irish cheer squad in the background. There can be 10 of them. It sounds like there's 100. And they just realised they were on camera. Don't tell the Irish. Do not tell the Irish they're on camera.
It only encourages.
And grinds through it and gets it on the board.
It's work. It's not a lot of room for the next attempt.
Yeah, the next attempt, the extra 2.5 is going to be a real grind. But it will be a personal best. Ria Nakamura. 57.5.
Equaling her previous personal best. 2.5 kilo jump from her second.
Yeah, and I think that's wise. I mean, 50 to a 5 kilo jump to a 2.5.
That's a long way up. Those are long arms.
And it just didn't want to move off the chest, that one. Sometimes you just get stapled to the bench. We've all been there plenty of times in training and plenty of times on the platform. Hiro Goto from Japan, 62.5. This will give her a nice 2.5 kilo personal best. That'd certainly be a nice way to finish the bench press. I was just mentioning earlier, she's a really interesting way she brings the bar down. You'll see a slight pause about 2 inches down and then starts again. And I've seen it a couple of times when I was in Tokyo with Japanese lifters. I'm not entirely sure why they're using this technique or any of the advantages, but something I'll certainly look into and see if I can find out.
Especially if it's common amongst a certain nation. Yeah, there it is.
I mean, it's the sort of thing we see in equipped lifting. But I did see it a couple of times in Japan with Japanese lifters, so I'm quite curious. But that's a no lift, unfortunately, a little bit heavy. Joanna Ilves from Finland, 72.5. Just to add a couple of kilos to her personal best.
Missed it on the second. Would like to take another run at it.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot wrong with her technique. Probably just more of a missed time. But, yeah, we did say when she opened that it was tough. And it doesn't leave you much room to move.
No.
And there it is. Just no room to move when you open on a personal best or you open heavy.
And you see the walking off the platform disappointed. That's what you don't want with your lifter. So if you have a nice, easy opener and they smoke it, you have room to grow. Positive momentum carries forward or negative momentum.
You don't want to be carrying that sort of emotion into the deadlifts. So 77.5 now for Malgorzata from Switzerland. Oh, just too heavy there. And again, you know, opening 72.5 was okay. That 5 kilo jump, a bit too much. Yeah, now she has that negative, just not having that positive feeling. Not necessarily a negative feeling, but she doesn't have that positive emotion rolling in. When you get that last bench on, you get off, you're feeling good about it, and that rolls into your deadlift.
Speaking of this young lady, 1 successful attempt so far out of 5.
She's had a rough day.
Hopefully can turn it around.
Well, it's been a tough day at the office for Yulia so far. Oh, she got it off the
she's a
chest.
fighter.
She got it off the chest well. She ground through it.
Wow, if she's
Is it good enough? Unfortunately, to no lift. But boy, she ground that out.
Was it the butt coming up? If we could see a replay here.
There was a bit of butt lift and there's some bar movement.
Yeah, the butt came up for sure, about an inch. You know what? I hope they lower her opener and dead. Let her go 3 for 3. It's not about personal best or anything. Let her have some success at the Worlds.
3 from 3 would be really important for her right now.
1 out of 6 is not a good feeling.
So Anna Wazorek from Poland, 80 kilograms. This will equal her personal best. Missed it on her second. And you can see as she pressed then, she just flattened out. The whole chest flattened out, shoulder blades pop out, and you just lose all that power.
And having quite a few misses lately.
Jessica Litera from Switzerland, 85. Let's see if she can buck that trend.
If she can, she'd be the first in the 3rd attempts to be successful.
And it'll be a big personal best. It'll add 10 kilos to a personal best.
That's a big personal best for the bench press.
Huge.
Oh, stutter. Did it come back down or just pause?
Yeah, tough to tell.
I'm not close enough to judge.
The referee says it's a good lift. Gives herself a 10 kilogram personal best. Not a bad way to finish the bench. And you can see the difference the way she walked off then. You know, she's up, she's feeling good, she's ready to roll. Alina from Finland. Looking for 90. Again for a personal best. It's always interesting to watch some of the different setups, particularly in the women as well. I mean, obviously her technique is to lower herself down. If her head touches the bar, she's in the right spot. Usually if my head touches the bar, I knock myself unconscious.
Something went wrong. 2.5 kilo jump, 5 kilo personal best.
And just a little bit too much today. Not for lack of trying.
Says job title to be announced. Oh, she's weighing her options. She'll let us know.
Karen Diana Zapata Cucina from Colombia.
This is a massive jump. 12.5 kilo. That's a very large jump.
And a previous personal best is 85.
Unusual you see from 2nd to 3rd attempt such a large jump on the bench press relative to the weight being shifted. That's a big percentage.
Very, very big percentage. The second certainly moved well. I'm not sure if it moved that big a jump well. And she almost proved me wrong.
Oh, she got further than I thought she would, but that, yeah, it's unusual to see that kind of jump.
It was a very, very big jump. Arne Carlsen from Denmark now looking for 95.
$5 kilo jump is a whole lot more reasonable, I would say, than a 5 kilo personal best. And there's not been very many hits here, has there, Gary?
Yeah, there's a lot of red getting up on that board, isn't there?
Be interesting to see if this pace carries on into the next flight.
Well, it can be infectious.
Could be a shakeup.
You know, it really can be infectious. You start seeing people push themselves everyone starts getting in on it as well. Yeah, I want to try and get a bit more. I want to try and get a bit more. And it gets a little out of control. I mean, we saw it in the squats in the men's,
Yeah.
but the coaches managed to calm it down for the bench.
Maybe the coaches will do the same for second flight. One can only hope.
Wow, what a grind. She gets that, though. It
Hard
should be
fought.
good. It is.
Hard fought 5 kilo.
That was a good call. Louise Jenna from Ireland now looking for 97.5. So give her a couple of kilos.
Personal best of 2.5 kilos.
There's 4 girls from the Irish team sitting in the crowd. It sounds like there's 150 of them.
There they are.
Oh, she gave it everything she had.
A little too much.
She gave it everything she had. Oh, she got a bit of a cramp in the hamstring there, the way she's walking off.
Well, looks like I got back-to-back Irish lifters.
So Deirdre Finland now from Ireland, looking for 80.
This is the second session, so we're back to openers. Second flight, sorry. Same session.
So move into the next flight. Let's hope there's a little less red on this board. Good opening lift. Very nice opener, very smooth. It's exactly what you want.
Both Ilya and Daniela Miller are opening with 125. The world record is 136.5. Depending on how those move,
They're
we
getting
might
very
see
close.
it might see world records tossed back and forth.
They're getting very, very close.
A battle for the bench gold. It'd be nice. We got a bench battle on our horizon. And then, of course, Amanda Lawrence waiting in the wings. Now, if Mello gets wrapped up in a bench battle, she could be pushed and miss a bench, and Amanda Lawrence gets right back in there.
And Iris Aeneas from Netherlands just makes short work of 82.5.
You got to think the American staff are telling themselves, we're not going to get into a bench battle with Ilya. If she wants that record, let her have it. We
Well,
need to hold serve.
I don't think you want to get into a bench battle with the current world record holder. And she's got the experience as well.
Yep. And Daniela Miller has that youthful exuberance, so it's
And, you know, it'd be a tough call. When we saw Ilya hit a personal best on the squats, what she got in her upper sleeve for the bench.
we will soon see.
Joyce Robotin from the Philippines now, 87.5.
However, it should be noted, though, if Mello wants that bench world record, the chip she gets could mitigate the chip Lawrence picked up.
It could make all the difference.
So, strategically, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it plays out, what's the most realistic. But Ilya Strike being in the field shakes it up for her.
It could make the difference, though, that extra chip.
Lawrence didn't have to worry about somebody else going toe-to-toe with her in her specialty. Unfortunately for Mello, Ilya Strike is in the field.
Marina Almeida from Brazil. Wanting 87.5. And that should be a good lift. It is. It's that one on the board. Anuga from Great Britain looking for 90.
Opening 5 kilo below her personal best. And 2 years in the game, I'm thinking these personal bests are long behind her at this point. Fast gains early on, so this should move. One of the British coaches up there in the stands, taking a little bit of time off. It's a stressful
Well,
gig.
there's not much room for time off for any of these guys.
As well.
Katya Jorgensen from Denmark, looking for 95. Well under a personal best of 102.5. Only been competing for 3 years.
Yeah, already at the Worlds and in the second flight.
That's not a bad effort. Oh, she gets that one on the board. Isabel Nakken from Norway, 95.
$2.5 kilo personal best opening up on it. Let's hope it's a calculated risk.
Yeah, it's always a big risk, isn't it?
Oh, it's the unknown and it's the bench press. You know how I feel about that. Well,
Yeah, and there's a big difference between a personal best in the gym and a personal best in competition.
After squatting, making weight, traveling, and the whole nine, for sure.
Amanda Lawrence, 105.
Amanda's got a strong bench press, but Mello's just got a stronger bench press. Kind of the same scenario flipped with the squats. Trying to hold serve and just not lose any ground. And hey, if Mello ends up in a bench war with Strick and loses that bench war, one of the winners is going to be Lawrence.
Well, it's going to make a difference, isn't it?
22 years old, still a junior.
And looking down the barrel of a world championship.
Beautiful opener, lots in the tank.
Very nicely done. Sylvia Zavas from Germany, 117.5.
$7.5 kilo below her personal best, so this should not be a major ask.
Yeah, you'd expect this to move quite well. I mean, another young lady with a pretty solid bench.
Yeah.
And moved well, it did.
As expected. Now the two last openers are the most interesting. The war is on.
Well, this is where you find out who's going to push who, because Ilya Strick from the Netherlands, 125, the current world record holder.
It's nice to see them back to back. You'll have a direct comparison.
It's going to work very, very well for us.
Yep, and be sure the coaching staffs are going to be paying. I see the Americans already on the sidelines. They're both going to be watching
Already
the other
having
lifter.
a look. Coaches are going to be on the side. They're going to be looking for how fast this opener moves.
Slow and controlled.
Yep, that's a pretty standard bench for Ilya.
Slow and controlled.
Daniela Miller now, 125 as well.
If she feels any pressure, she doesn't show it.
Yeah, she looks very confident.
Yep.
It's amazing how confident these young women are on this platform.
So young, traveling around the world at this age, and the type of pressure they have, the type of hype they have, it's got to be a lot to bear. No wrist wraps. Oh,
Smokes it.
you know what? It's a warning shot for Ilya. That record might be hers. We'll see.
Well, I think she's going to try and chase it down. We'll see where they go.
And we got ourselves a bench battle, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it ends with the world record attempts. That'd be nice. You know, the chip added to Melo's total is really going to help her.
Can make a difference. Deirdre Finland now from Ireland, 85, equaling her personal best. And absolutely nails that one. That was a fast second lift.
Nicely done. 5 kilo added to her total.
Iris Kentenius from the Netherlands, 87.5.
5 kilo jump, 2.5 kilo below her personal best. That's a long way up and down. Those are deadlift arms.
A long way to move.
Little too long.
Look, if we have a look at the replay on this one, I think we'll find she didn't really pin her shoulders back very well at the start of that lift. Just missed the start there. Her shoulders seem to spread out.
Yeah, they did right there. They slid.
Yeah, and once that happens, there's just no power. Joyce Gale, 92.5, Philippines. And grinds it out.
Nicely done. 5 more kilo. Should be good for another 2.5 kilo, I think.
Yeah, I can't see why not. Marina Almeida from Brazil, 92.5.
This is going to match her previous personal best. Nicely done.
Yeah, handles that very well. Lugar from Great Britain, 92.5. So we just shy of her personal best. So Mello has put in a 132.5 for a second. And going by the way that 125 moved, I think that's quite reasonable.
I think it's reasonable. I tell you what, it would put her 5 kilo ahead of Strict and right in line for that record and the chips she needs on her total. Strategically, it's a good move.
A little bit of a fumble there in the middle, but she managed to get it through.
However, if Mello misses, not only does Strick have an opportunity for bench gold, but now Amanda Lawrence is like, well, Amanda Lawrence will owe Strick a beer. Put it that way. Thank you for applying pressure I couldn't in the bench
There'll
press.
certainly be some pints being handed around afterwards.
Let's gang up on her if we can.
Isabel Lacken from Norway, 97.5. Oh, she almost had that going as well.
Yeah,
She's got a little bit off balance. Would have
started
been a
teetering.
big personal best for her.
She has one more attempt to have another go at it. If she can just keep her balance under there.
Yeah, I think if she can get that balance, she'll manage to push that through. Katya Jorgensen from Denmark, 102.5.
Nice bench setup. Getting the fulcrum of the lever underneath the touch point, mitigating the range of motion. Getting optimal
looks
pressing
good.
power.
And it is. Yeah, Amanda Lawrence now, 112.5. This will be a nice little personal best. You can see her just sitting there, the headphones on.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 kilo personal best. And again, she's trying to hold serve.
Yeah, I think she's playing a very smart, very mature card here. She's not getting caught up in chasing anyone bench.
And what helps her, obviously, she's really young, fairly relatively new to the game, but the people around her are not. They've been to several worlds, know what they're doing. Make sure she doesn't
handles
jump the
that
command.
very well. Yeah, you can see here the coach in the background hold it.
Yeah, that was Joey Flex's voice.
It's really easy to get caught up in the moment.
Especially when it moves smooth like that, you're like, I'm done, get it off.
Sylvia Savas from Germany, 122.5. And I can see Lawrence's coaches there just trying to work out what to put in. Personally, I'd go 5 and be a little bit conservative. She might have another big jump in her, but here her job is to hold serve.
It is a debate, though, isn't it? It's so tough. It's such a tough call because the race is so close. But 5 to 7.5 is on the table.
And 5 it is.
Yeah. It's probably the higher. Well, it is the higher percentage.
Oh, great second lift there.
Yeah.
122.5. That was a really nice second lift. Ilya Strick from the Netherlands now, 127.5.
Ilya, in the midst of a bench battle with a young lion half her age.
A great lifter, a great personality.
Look at, if Mello misses, Ilya hits, she's still in a great opportunity for that bench gold. Ilya looks like she did her part.
Yeah, she had to grind it, but she got it there. Should be a good lift, it is.
So 2.5 kilo is a proper call. I think 2.5 kilo is probably the proper call for the next one for Ilya, judging how slow that
Yeah,
moved.
I think so. I'd be looking at 230. So we've got a junior world record, 132.5 from Daniela Miller. 132.5 is the junior world record.
Let's see how this moves. It's an ambitious 7.5 kilo jump, but it's 7.5 kilos she's gonna need with Lawrence breathing down her neck as we go towards the finish
It'll be a very useful 7.5 kilos right here.
They only take calculated risks, the Americans. She's probably hit this before in the gym. Oh, wow.
And smoked it.
Okay, well, calculated risk indeed. That moved very well.
Yeah, no problems at all there.
5 more kilo?
I'd go a 5 on that. Deirdre Finland from Ireland, 87.5 for her third.
2.5 kilo jump for her, and 2.5 kilo personal best if she gets it.
It'd be a great way to finish the bench session, wouldn't it? And she's going to grind it through. Great lift. So Iris against Aeneas from the Netherlands, 87.5. So just shy of her personal best.
She has long arms, and it was a struggle pretty quickly off the chest, if I remember her second attempt.
Her shoulders spread out.
That's right.
That looks better.
She can keep them tucked.
Look at the difference there. Kept those shoulder blades together. Completely different lift.
And if we could take a look at the replay.
Very, very different lift. Joyce Rabotin from Philippines. Looking for 95. A nice little personal best.
2.5 kilo, I think it's appropriate.
Well, she's in very good hands today.
Yeah, that's Jeff Butt. It's been a long week for that gentleman.
Oh, fantastic drive there.
She had not a half a kilo
There
more.
was
That was
not even a half a kilo there. You couldn't even negotiate that one.
They've taken her 6 for 6, and she was right on
Very
the limit
nicely
for bench
done.
and squats.
So Marina Almeida from Brazil, 95. So this will add a couple of kilos to her personal best. And just a little bit too much there. Gets a little off balance. Nuga from Great Britain looking for 95 now. This will equal her personal best.
And these ladies are starting to push the envelope in the third attempts.
Oh, it was a bit messy. Let's see what the referees say. Did she keep her hips down? She does. So 97.5 for Isabel Naken from Norway. Missed this on her second. And very shortly, Mello coming up for the World Open record. Not bad for a junior.
A collection of plaques. And it's all just pieces to the bigger picture for her run for the overall title.
And she's driving this one. Gets it there.
Three whites.
So Katya Jorgensen for 105. Be a nice personal best. She's going to have to work hard for this one. And
Oh, well, maybe
very
not.
nicely done. I'm pretty sure that moved better than a second.
I was about to say,
I
I
think the
think
look on
it
her
did.
face as she walked off was, yeah,
Almost.
what happened there? That moved easier than my second one.
If I moved my second one like that, I would have increased it more. Surprising herself.
Amanda Lawrence now, 117 and a half.
5 kilo jump was,
You know what? And it's a pretty important lift, this one.
to say the least, and I think 5 kilos appropriate. We both agreed. And if she hits this, she's right in the hunt in the bigger picture for the deadlifts. But if she misses, she's starting to fall back. Very important way of finishing this bench campaign 3 for 3 and collect that extra 5 kilos.
Oh, she's already missed one squat.
That's right, and she can't miss another.
And she had to put in a little bit of work, but it didn't look in doubt.
And you know what? It was a right on the money attempt selection.
Yeah,
I
look,
think 2.5
I think
more
an extra
kilo.
2.5 might have been a very big grind and a big risk. Sylvia Zavas from Germany, 127 and a half.
And if I'm honest, the attempt selection for squats was also on the money. She just had to have the confidence to sink it a little deeper. But that's all in the past now.
127 and a half for Sylvia. Previous best lift, 125. And she'd love to get this one on the board.
Yeah, it'll temporarily move her into a silver medal position, currently resting in bronze for the bench. And that's a nice little trinket to have to bring back home. Nicely done.
And that is a very nice lift.
It's a happy
on the
dip
board.
on the
She's
side.
happy with that. Ilya Strick for 130. This is going to be a tough lift for her.
Yeah, 127 and a half is very difficult. She has the bronze medal in hand. She wants to swap that for the silver. It's bronze due to body weight. The German has the silver due to the tie going to the lighter lifter. However, Strick like to make a medal swap and throw another 2.5 kilo towards her total.
Man, it'd certainly be nice to put an extra couple of kilos on for her. And she's going to have to fight, but it's just not going to come today.
Nope.
She puts in a very big effort, though. So Daniela Miller now, 137. This will be a world record and a world junior record.
How important are these kilos? Because it'll give her the chip she lost when Amanda Lawrence took a chip in the squat event. It's strategic.
Well, this one suddenly turns the tables around a little bit.
Definitely, it's putting a bit of a spread between her and Amanda. However, if she misses, her and Amanda are right back, and Amanda actually has the lead. So she can take the lead with this.
Well, this one's going to make the difference.
Actually, excuse me. She'll keep the lead, but it'll be mitigated to 2.5 kilo. She would like to increase the lead to 5.5, which is obviously still very tight. Oh,
And she does. That looks good. We'll wait for the referee's decision. It is. It's good. And then that, all of a sudden, the tables turn.
just like that, it's a change of fortune. And that's what happens when you have these specialists like Mello, specialists like Amanda Lawrence.
Well, we talked about Mello having to do her job on the bench press. This was her opportunity. She knew she wasn't going to out squat Lawrence. She didn't even try. She went into the bench press. She followed a really, really mature plan. Every lift selection was spot on the money.
Yeah.
And look at what it's done. It's turned the tables now. All of a sudden, they're not 1 kilo apart. Now there's 5 kilos in it.
And, I mean, it's still 5 kilos, still a super tight race. And to make it more dramatic, their deadlifts dead even, opening within 1 kilo of each other. However, in the deadlifts, we've seen some people falter, some people maintain, and some people take big leaps.
Well, the one person I feel sorry for is the coach, mate. US versus US. He's going to have to make a decision in the end, and someone's going to pull for the win.
If someone will have pulled ahead by a big lead, almost the pressure's off. Like, I don't have to be put in an awkward position.
Right now, he's in an awkward position.
So sorry.
9 minutes, 23 seconds. We're going to be right back here. The deadlifts are going to unfold, and we will see how this plays out.
Do not miss it.
Welcome back to Helsingborg, Sweden. The action is just unfolding bit by bit. You couldn't script this any better. We've seen world records. We're about to hit into the deadlifts. Daniela Miller has played a really, really good card through that bench press and just given herself just that little bit. It's not a kilo anymore. It's still really close, extremely close, but she's just given herself that little bit. If it comes down to 2.5 kilos, she's there.
And here's the thing. It's when it's this close of a battle and you move into the deadlifts, if one of them has an edge on deadlifts, fair play, they can move ahead. The problem is they're both opening, one with 230, one with 231. The closeness is going to maintain each and every lift right up until the last one. It's going to come down to the last deadlift as it always seems to be.
And I've got to take my hat off to the US coach who's managing both these lifters. You know, at some point he's going to have to load that bar for one of them to take the gold. And you can imagine how he feels about doing this, but he's in that position. It's US versus US. Ilya Strict is sitting on 512 predicted total. Her main job now is to make sure she stays in that bronze medal position.
Yeah. Protect the bronze.
Yeah, protecting that bronze. I mean, she's in a fairly good position at the moment, a fair way out. But, you know, anything is possible. But realistically, that battle at the top there for gold and silver is going to be absolutely out of control on this deadlift. They've got to get their openers on.
Attempt selection is going to be key. The awkward part of it is the attempt selection is coming from the same coaching staff.
Yeah, it's a tough call, isn't it? I would not like to be in their shoes right now. Ryo Nakamura from Japan looking for 90. Yeah, would not like to be in their shoes when it comes down to that last pull.
No, sir.
And that is a great opening lift. Absolutely smokes it.
All you really need to do in your deads with your opener, solidify yourself. A big jump from the first dead to the next. Your body can handle it. You don't want too many heavy deads on the top end because your last dead is not going to be as heavy as you like when you tax yourself that much.
Hiro Goto from Japan, 110.
$10 kilo below her previous personal best.
And puts that one on the board. Karen Diana Zapata Cusino from Colombia. Looking for 140.
Now, Karen has been taking some big jumps from her opener to a second and right to her third.
Let's see what she does in deads.
It's going to be a big jump from that one because that was easy.
Yeah, that was an easy opening lift. Yeah, she's got a personal best of 170. That is a smart opener there.
Well, I think she could have took that for a set of 7. So she's safe.
Powerlifters don't do sets of 7.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? That's almost cardio. Jessica Vitara from Switzerland, 155. Now, she's been opening on PBs, but obviously her training's been going very well because she's smoked right past them. And this one's pretty close to a personal best as well. And again, obviously, ready to smoke straight past those.
Yep. Plenty of room to grow from there. Solidifies her total.
Yulia Marinenko looking for 165. And she's had a very, very rough day at the office. And she really wants to pull some positive momentum and feeling out of this one.
I like that.
And that looked very good.
I'd like to see just a comfortable jump.
Yeah.
That was a nice opener, though.
Yeah, I mean, from this stage now, 7.5 kilos on that. Nothing big. Just get 3 from 3 on the board. Malgorzata Kot from Switzerland, 165.
That's a very close heels. Very, very close heels. Almost touching. Toes.
It's interesting.
Out.
I've only ever had
Very
one.
interesting.
I've only ever had one other athlete that deadlifted in squat shoes.
Squat, because the heels tilt you forward, which ordinarily would be the opposite you would want.
So I had one
and it did.
athlete. Oh, probably had.
And with heels together and the toes out like that, very
Yeah,
interesting.
It's interesting. So obviously, biomechanical positioning of the body, the squat shoes work. Anna Ozorek from Poland, 165. That was harder than I was expecting given her personal best, but she doesn't seem overly concerned about it.
Yep. And some people, their deads all look like a little bit of work.
Hanna Lena from Finland, 170.
Nicely done.
Yeah, very nicely done. She looks happy with that. So, Louise Jenna, Bollyman bomber from Ireland, looking for 177 and a half. The Bollyman bomber from Ireland now, 177 and a half. She's going to listen back over and watch this replays of these and trying to figure out how we knew that. Man, that's a good opener right there.
Although, you know what? For a powerlifter, bomber is kind of a weird nickname because you don't want to bomb. That's actually not the greatest nickname for a powerlifter.
Probably not the best one you want, is it?
Now that I thought about it.
How you going, Bomber? Be careful who you say that to. And Carlson from Denmark, 187 and a half. It was a bit tough off the floor. She got it moving all right. I wouldn't be looking at too big a jumps on that one. Joanna Ilves from Finland, 190.
She's hit 205, so this should be manageable for her. Pretty smooth.
Yeah, very smooth on that one. So we move into the seconds. Hirogato from Japan, 115. So Nakamura then has taken a 25 kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah, that's a pretty big jump for, in terms of percentage-wise, for the type of weights being shifted.
Yeah, it's 25 kilos. I mean, even though it's a long way under a personal best, it's still a big jump.
Yeah, the nervous system, you never know how it's going to handle it. Hopefully she does these kind of jumps in training all the time, and it's par for the course.
Hiro got that with 115. That moved well. I'd really like to see her to go to 122 and a half on a third for a personal best. She's got nothing to lose. She seems to have plenty in the tank. It'd be nice to finish on that. And I think it's in there. Nakamura now. This is opened at 90, now looking at 115.
She's hit 120.
Well, she clearly trains for it because that big jump didn't seem to make a difference. There's still plenty of room in the tank.
Well, she was certainly taking no risks with that opener.
Not at all. Karen Diana Zapata Coseno from Colombia.
10-kilo jump. It's you know what? It's a smaller jump than I anticipated.
Yeah, I was expecting to take bigger jumps. She's been taking big jumps all day.
And 140 was so smooth and easy. But she might be just holding back for that big pull at the end.
Yeah, keep a little in the tank.
Clock hasn't started. They haven't said.
Well, we haven't. We've got.
A little switch up. Oh, she's not coming up. So maybe,
Looks
maybe
like
the
she's-
reason why the
yep.
140 is so easy, she has an injury or something.
Yeah, it looks like she put on an easier lift and she's scratched those last two.
Makes sense now.
So Jessica Vitara from Switzerland will be next out with 165. $165. 7.5 kilos over her personal best. She's been knocking personal bests on the head all day.
10 kilos. Comes off the ground quick. Slow down a little bit more on the lockout.
Just
But
slowed a little bit in the lockout. I think now she's a bit more used to that heavier weight. Won't be a problem. Anna Wazorek from Poland, 172 and a half. Oh, that's a lot of work.
yeah, it's not leaving a whole lot of room to grow.
And she got the two reds, and I'm pretty sure that was resting on the thighs there. So a bit of ramping. Yeah, there it is. Yulia Marinenko from the Ukraine, 175.
So you're thinking maybe 7.5 kilo. They opted for 10, and I'm hoping she hits this. She's only got 2 on the board all day.
Would really love to see her finish on a high note.
Nice.
Good, well done. And she'll get the opportunity now to finish on a personal best, which will certainly add to her day a little bit. Margazata Kot from Switzerland. Yeah, missing lifts happens to the best of the best. I mean, we saw Eddie Berglund the other day. Happens to us all. You got to brush yourself off and get ready for the next one.
Double overhand hook grip. Heels really tight together. Toes pointing out. Very unique setup.
Yeah, it's quite unique.
Yeah, the shoulders were slumped.
And knees were soft as well.
Yeah, it's a thing is it's gonna be hard to get your legs locked with the positioning she has. It's and squat shoes on top of all these unique.
Yeah, those knees were never locked.
There's no room to even debate that call.
Hannah Alina from Finland, 180.
10-kilo jump.
She handled it well. It was a little awkward through the midsection, but she handled it well.
The bomber is
The
not bombing out.
Ballyman bomber is back with
Not bombing.
185. There's no bombing for her today.
Not bombing today. She got her opener. Not sure how she got her nickname, but maybe they got to turn it around and give her a new one. The finisher.
The finisher.
The show closer. If she
Sounds
gets her
like-
last one in.
Sounds like an episode of the WWE. Well, here she is, Louise Jenna, the Ballyman bomber from Ireland, 185.
Nicely done.
And she handles that one well. And Joanna Ilves from Finland, 200.
$10-kilo jump, but still 5 kilo under her personal best.
And she gets it to the top.
I think they weren't sure about her
Yeah,
shoulders.
I'm not sure. And she's got the two reds.
It was close.
Yeah, if we have a look at the replay, she just wasn't really locked out. Her knees didn't look great either. That one knee didn't look great. And Carlson from Denmark, 205. She's bringing a bit more intensity for this one.
That's a decent jump. She's going to need it. Getting close to her top end.
Well, she gets it to the top. Let's see what the referee's decision is. It's a good lift. So back to the start for the third round now. Hirogotto, 115. So as a personal best, I'm sure it should be 117 and a half. I'm quite sure it should say 117 and a half.
Yeah.
In fact, the loading platform says 117 and a half.
Hmm.
For some reason, the attempt board says 115. But it is 117 and a half.
It'll go on the scorecards as well properly, so.
Gets it to the top, and you can see really obviously locking those knees.
Through my lights.
So 120 now for Nakamura. A few little technical issues there, and there the board changes over now. So Nakamura at 120. You've got computers communicating with computers, communicating with more computers. And my level of computer
Thumbless.
technology is how to turn it on.
A thumbless deadlift. I'm not sure why you'd have no thumbs on a dead, but there it is.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple of times. A thumb turned out to try and stop the thumb catching on the knee sleeve if you're wearing knee sleeves, but she wasn't wearing knee sleeves.
And she was also the
And-
thumbless on the hand that was
Yeah.
underhand.
And we also saw when the young Ukrainian used the thumbless grip, she lost a grip, changed it to thumb over, and got the lift. And that lift there was just a little bit all over the shop. So Jessica Vitara from Switzerland Wants 170. And she's been breaking personal bests all day. She already has a personal best on this. And that one just tipped her over the edge a little bit. That was a big ask, that one. Anna Wazorek from Poland, 172.5. Now, her first was work. Her second was a lot of work, and she didn't get it. And now she's having another crack at it.
Tough day in the office.
Yeah, it's
for
a big
dads.
ask. And today is not the day for that one. Nagazata got from Switzerland, 175. I add 5 kilos to her personal best.
If she can hit this, it's an extra 5 kilo on her personal best and 10 kilo towards her total.
175.
The heels are not going to help her lock out, which was the issue initially.
And she gets that one on the board. But yeah, it's a technique thing they're going to have to look at down the track. I mean, it might be working hit and miss now.
But heels together on top of squat heels, toes pointed outwards like a V. I just haven't seen it on too much of the upper levels of the sport.
Yulia Marinenko from the Ukraine.
This is a big 10 kilo personal best if she gets it.
Oh, it'd be great to see.
Oh, and how you
And
like
I think
that?
she has.
Redemption? It
It
is.
is. What a great way to finish. And a little bit of a fist pump there from her as well.
Redemption is one attempt away, and there you have it.
What a great way to finish. She had a rough day at the office, gets 3 from 3 on deads and a personal best. You can't ask for more than that after that day.
Best possible
Alina,
scenario for the
yeah,
deads.
Absolutely. Alina, 192.5. Just adding a couple of kilos to her personal best. Yeah, the last one was a little awkward. And just a little bit too much today. She gave it a great effort though. So the Ballymon bomber from Ireland, Louise Jenna, 192.5.
Maybe it's like a misnomer, like you call a big guy tiny and a tiny guy big.
That could be it.
Maybe she never bombs.
She gets it to the top. What do the referees say? It's a good lift.
One.
And nearly bowls Jay over. You continually say this to athletes. Tell me what your exit strategy is on that last lift if it goes well, because I don't want to be knocked down in front of the cameras. Joanna Ilves, 200.
Oh, wait, the
I just
jury
seen
has
some
come
movie,
out.
the jury here, and
They think there was
they
some
are-
ramping on that
it's
last.
going to be overturned, I think.
Looks
It's
like the
gonna be a
Bombers
no lift.
celebrated a little early. She did get one ramping call by one of the refs, and I think the jury's agreeing
Yeah, I
with
think
that
the
call.
jury's decided to overturn it.
Yeah, it's gone already off the boards.
And Joanna Ilves squeezes that to the top. She got her shoulders back very well on that one, and that's made the difference.
3 white lights.
And Big J from the Irish team coming to the jury, as I thought he would after that.
He's like,
I
excuse
thought
me?
he'd be, I'm sorry, excuse me, what have you done?
Excuse me, pardon me? Let's have a conversation.
And Carlson, Denmark, 215.
10-kilo jump. It's a nice jump. It's a 5-kilo personal best if she gets it.
And there's a few Denmark supporters in the crowd, which is great to see.
Yeah.
And
got
here.
a great set of vocal cords on that gentleman. He could be a homing signal. Oh,
that was
it's going to be
low
effort.
on the floor. She's still going. It's moving up. There it goes. It moved up for a long time.
Yeah, that was a great effort. On to flight 2.
Here we roll now.
Openers.
Joyce Robotin from the Philippines.
Oh, look at this. 2 openers. I mean, as if we need more history made.
I was wondering if there'd be a change, given that the 230 opener was so close to the world record. I was wondering if there'd be a change there.
These young ladies are opening with world record squats and deadlifts, totally rewriting history.
Yeah.
In an epic battle.
I mean, realistically, you're looking at the new generation of 84-kilo champions.
And it's quite frightening. Oh, nice ball.
Sylvia Savaris from Germany, 180. Just 10 kilos shy of her personal best. And that's a nice opening lift. So we shift to 185 for Ilya Strick. And plenty of supporters in the crowd here for Ilya.
Slow and steady.
Yeah, very nicely done. And that is her job now. She's going to make sure she gets a good total and protects that bronze medal. Doesn't want anyone sneaking up behind.
I think Strick is relatively comfortable, although this is the deadlifts. And if she starts missing, someone else starts hitting, you've seen crazier things happen.
Deirdre Finland from Ireland, 195. And gets someone on the board. Isabel Narken from Norway, 195.
Nice ball.
Yeah, moved very smoothly there. Marina Almeida from Brazil, looking for 197.5. Well under her personal best.
Whoa.
Bring some fire to the platform for the opener.
Wowzers. She's intense for an opener. carries
it
there.
moved well.
All types of intense for the deadlift session. I'm excited to see her second and third attempts.
Yeah, she's bringing the intensity there. Katya Jorgensen from Denmark, 200.
Nice pull.
Yeah, pulled quite well there.
Appropriate opener.
And we got from Great Britain, 205. It wasn't that long ago when 205 would put you at the top of the list. Now you've got two girls that are going to open well above that.
Worked up for this opener.
Yeah, a bit of trash talk to the bar there.
Yep.
Oh, it worked.
Well, you're not going to hurt the bar's feelings.
Not an Alico bar, that's for sure.
No harm, no foul. Those Alico bars are tough. We told you they were tough, didn't we?
Yeah, when we talk tough, we talk feelings as well.
That's right.
Iris Aeneas from the Netherlands, 205. Gets it to the top. Shows a very convincing lockout.
So far, so good. Everybody's on the board.
Here we go. It's world record time.
It's about to heat up for an opener. It gets exciting quick, doesn't it, Gary?
2:31 for a world record attempt from Amanda Lawrence.
And these girls, I mean, there's no taking the foot off the gas for them.
Well, she's going to go for a world record, and then Mella's going to come out and try and steal it straight off her.
Now, I'm interested if this moves like an opener despite it being a world record. If it does, I mean, it's just staggering how this generation is just moving ahead of anything we've ever seen before. Holy.
Well, it moved like an opener.
That is an appropriate opener and historical.
Wow. 2:31 for the world record. That moved like an opener should. But don't go away because Daniela Miller wants some action on this as well. She's putting 2:31 and a half.
Mello says, if you like that, you're going to love this.
And give me a piece of the action.
World records back to back. And we're
2:31.5.
going to have 6 world record attempts in the deadlifts, guaranteed. We're getting spoiled. And the deadlift battle is on. Wow.
And that moved like an opener as well.
Another opener.
And it goes on the board as a world record. She got one red there.
Little wobble at the top of
Could have
the
been a
house,
little
the
bit
body
of
wobble.
wobble. That's more of a body wobble. But she got 2 whites. It's on the board.
And the deadlift battle is on.
This gets better and better. And their totals are solidified now.
So, looking at the projected, because Mello has a bit of a lead, Lawrence is going to be the one who has to take a little bit more risks down the line. If they continue the pace of toe-to-toe battling with the same weight, Mello's going to end up at the finish line ahead.
That few kilos that Mello put on through that bench press has paid off.
However, between the two, Mello got a red. Lawrence got 3 whites.
That's
Maybe
true.
Lawrence can pull ahead.
Joyce Robotin from the Philippines now, 182.5.
Nicely done.
Nicely done. She's happy with that.
Well, she hasn't missed a lift yet today.
Yeah, she's been looking very, very good.
And she's shifting some respectable weight. I think she got a bronze in the squats.
Sylvia Savas from Germany now, 187.5.
No, yeah. Yes, yeah, she did. On body weight with strike.
So 187.5, just shy of her personal best.
Three whites.
That one goes on the board. Ilya Strict, 192.5. A nice little personal best. Picked up a very big personal best on the squats. Can she bring the power right now?
Oh, it's a little off kilter, but she gets it.
Yeah, she managed to pull that one back up.
That should dash the hopes of anyone wanting her bronze.
Yeah, look, I'd imagine that puts her in a position now that is probably beyond pulling for at this stage of their careers.
Like, the obviously deadlift medals are all over the place, and it's going to be very tight to grab one of those. If you want a bronze there, the field is extremely competitive.
Yes, well, if you'd like a gold or silver, you're going to have to pull a world record. It's a tough field when you've got to pull a record for even a silver.
That's like the 83 kilo men. You want a silver in deadlifts, you got to pull a world record.
Marina Almeida from Brazil, 207.5. And
I like
goes on the board.
I like the attitude she brings.
She's got great intensity.
Yeah, and the little smirk at the top.
Deirdre Fenlon from Ireland, 207.5.
$12.5 kilo jump, still beneath her personal best.
She's given it everything.
It's a scrap, though.
She's got it there. Has she done enough? She has.
But it's looking like the end is near. 2.5 kilos is going to be a big
There's
ask.
not a lot left there.
I mean, I've seen lifters rise to the occasion, so we'll see when they load the bar.
Isabel Narkin from Norway, 207.5. Oh, that was a lot of work.
Yep.
She gets it there in the end, but a lot of work to do it.
5 more kilo will be a personal best, but it's also going to be a hell of a scrap to complete.
Iris Kenzanias from the Netherlands now, 215. She's going to pull it through. Gets it there.
Nicely done.
And should be good. It is.
2.5 kilo personal best.
We go from Great Britain looking for 217.5.
Oh, she's getting riled up for this one.
Yeah, she's got the fire for this one.
If it's a fight, I think she's going to be good for it. No fight needed.
What fight?
Maybe next time.
She's saving that for a third. 217.5. Katya Jorgensen from Denmark. Gets it to the top nicely. There's still a few kilos in the tank.
And that was a personal best for her.
Well,
all right.
Here it goes. Amanda Lawrence, 245 world record.
To say this is key. Lawrence hits, Mello misses. Lawrence moves ahead, and it's looking in dire straits for Mello.
245.5.
The biggest pull of this young lady's short career. She looked over. Joey might not have told her what the bar was low. When she looked over and seen, she goes, yes.
245.5 world record.
The crowd is behind her.
And she's got it there. It looks good. It is.
And the battle is on.
And not to be outdone.
Toe to toe.
Daniela Miller, 246
Whew.
for a world record.
Toe to toe action. Who's going to take a step back first? And placing the last attempt, you got to be very strategic. They're both right on that line now at the top end of their abilities. But first,
246.
Pay very close attention how this moves for Daniela Mello. She misses. It's a tough position. She hits. She maintains her lead and has some breathing room on top of that, forcing Lawrence to stretch even further.
She's looked confident all day. This is the first time I've seen her look a little bit nervous.
A little extra adrenaline can even help sometimes, though.
And big smile on her face at the top.
Yep. 3 white lights.
Well, that one's on as well.
I think that might have even moved a little better in her
Well, she got 3 whites on that one.
So she maintains her lead, and now it's going to come down to attempt selection, which is a slightly awkward position given it's America versus America, and they have the same personal coach in Joey Flex.
Look, and
I'm not sure how they're going to deliberate with that one.
it's a tough call. Daniela Mello on that last pull equaled the world junior total record and the world open total record.
Well, we know Lawrence has to pull more. Has Mello extended Lawrence beyond her means? However, Mello's got to choose something she can hit. If she misses, Lawrence only has to beat the total with the second attempt.
Rotten from the Philippines now, 190. This will make 9 from 9, I think. Ah, great finish. 3 whites. What a great way to finish the day.
Here's another interesting scenario. Both of the Americans have placeholders, and Lawrence has to blink first. Because look at, if we both go out with our placeholding deads and are forced to lift, Mello's like, I'm perfectly comfortable missing, you miss, and I win. If you are, so you better move first.
Yeah,
It's tough. It's tough.
It's hard. It's such a tactical thing, and we're not usually doing it between
The same
athletes
country,
on our
yeah.
own team.
The same team and even the same coaching. It's let alone handling.
And Sylvia Savaras has to work at the top for that one. Did she get the job done? She did. 192.5.
I'm paying close attention to the scorecard. Lawrence and her team have to make a decision, and they have to go first. And they're deliberating what it's going to be.
Ilya Strict 197.5 for a very big personal best. This will add 7.5 kilos to a personal best. She's a great lifter, absolute legend in powerlifting. And probably one of the nicest people you'll meet.
It looks like Denmark will threaten her podium finish, so she needs to hit this.
She's going to give it. They're going to give it a bit of a push.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and that one was a little bit too hard. She's really.
Did that open the door?
Yeah, she's upset with herself on that one.
Did that open the door for Denmark?
So
We'll
Denmark
see.
is going to give it a push.
Always last-minute jockeying on the podium when it comes to last deads.
Jorgensen weighs a little bit less than Strict too, so only has to match up.
Yeah. And it's 12.5 kilo, and she took a 17.5 kilo from her opener to her second.
Deirdre Finland from Ireland, 212.5. Just a little bit too harsh. There's a bit of a laugh at that one. Isabel Narken from Norway now, 212.5. So give her a personal best.
And an update on the scorecard, Mello and Lawrence, nobody's blinked yet.
Still haven't shifted.
Nobody's blinked yet. Oh, that's a little off kilter. Wow.
Somehow she's still pulling that.
I'm not sure if there's some infractions in there, but a show of heart, no doubt.
Somehow she pulled it all the way to the top. She got 2 reds.
She was bent over in an awkward angle and still strong enough. All types of willpower.
Marina Almeida from Brazil now, 220.
And expect her to bring the intensity for this final pull. Huge 10 kilo PR for her. Here we go. Whoa, get out of her way.
220. She's brought some fire to the platform this time.
Whoa! Look at that.
Moving and just not quite there.
Not from a lack of effort.
She gave it everything.
Yeah.
Hold your head high.
Leave it on the platform, and she did.
So go 225. Nuga from Great Britain.
This is a nice 10 kilo PR for the Brit if she can hit it. It's a big ask. 7.5 kilo jump.
Be a nice way to finish though, 225.
Yep. Oh, Mello blinked first. Dropped it down to 252.5. That's a little surprising.
Someone had to blink.
Yeah, she had the lead though.
And you still got another change up your sleeve.
Good fight for that one. 2
And
to
she
1.
gets it. Yeah, she had to put in a good fight for that one, that's for sure.
Now, yeah, I'm just surprised. Miller put the change in ahead of time.
She's still got one up her sleeve yet. Iris Kenzanius from the Netherlands, 227.5.
Well, we know Lawrence has to pull after Mello and pull more if she's to threaten. And Lawrence's silver is not in jeopardy, so she'll pull for gold, guaranteed.
Oh, of course. Iris Kenzanius, 227.5. Personal best. Last lift of the day.
A little too much.
Just a bit too much today.
So this is to steal Strick's bronze.
This one's it, 230.
It's coming down to the last
Katya
dead for them.
Jorgensen from Denmark has put on 230. She's a little bit lighter.
Yep. An appropriate move by Team Denmark.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move.
Podium's in reach. Your placing's not at stake. Pull for the podium every time.
It's a big pull, but it still has a probability of success.
And you'd be crazy not to go for it if it's on the table and you risk nothing. She will not fall in the rankings. She can only move up, and she'll also be in position for a bronze medal deadlift.
That's right.
2 bronze medals, 1 pull, you take it. Oh, whoa!
She's got it
Whoa!
moving. It's nearly there.
Oh,
Can she
my
keep pulling?
goodness!
It's still going
That
up.
is one strong lady.
And, I think she buckled at the top, though.
Did the bar go up down, though? Yes.
Yes, it did.
Still a great pull. Great way to finish the day. That
There
was
it is.
dramatic.
She gave it everything she had.
That was dramatic.
She can hold her head high knowing that she gave it everything she had. But right now, world record attempt, Daniela Miller, 252.5. That is a big, big pull.
It's way more than previous performances. But from here, you're looking at 7.5 kilo. 246 moved well. I think this is it should be in the tank. She's just got to watch her lockout. Shoulders back, no ramping,
It's a big call.
knees locked.
Previous best, 238.
And she could force Lawrence to pull something she's not capable of.
And
no.
Just a bit too much.
Oh, just a little too much.
She gave it everything.
Good pull. Now listen. She still may have extended Lawrence past her means. Lawrence is not out of the woods yet by any means herself. She will attempt the exact same weight because she weighed in less body weight. She only has to match.
So she's going 252.5.
Same weight
World record attempt.
for all the marbles.
World record.
World record, world championship. Oh,
This is it. It's
They're
an
going-
all or nothing pull.
they're going toe to toe.
It's all or nothing. You want the gold? This is what you got to do.
We knew it'd come down to the last deadlift, and here it is. Whoa! Oh, I think she's got it.
there.
I think she's got it. And she's comfortable with it, too.
That should be 3 white.
3 white lights. Your new world champion, Amanda Lawrence, down to the last deadlift.
And she takes the world championship. It comes down to the last deadlift.
Oh, wow.
We knew it would. There was a kilo in it. Then there was 5 kilos in it. And it came down to that one single lift to decide the new world championship. Amanda Lawrence takes the gold medal. Daniela Miller just sitting dead even. 6:13 is dead even on the world total record. They both hit 6:13, and it came down to 500 grams body weight.
And you know what? Coming into this, everyone was saying Amanda Lawrence had a very big weight cut coming in terms of cutting water. No one would have predicted if someone's going to win on body weight, because Daniela Miller was coming in light into this, that tied on body weight would go to Lawrence.
Well, it came down to 500 grams of body weight, 613 total each. They can both hold their heads high. Lawrence is the new world champion. Mello takes the silver. And Strick holds on to that bronze medal.
Just barely.
Just by the skin of her teeth. What an exciting way to finish. Don't go away. The medal ceremony coming up. And, of course, more action at 4 p.m. local time this afternoon as well.
130 kilos, a new world record in total. Amanda